Good day, everyone. Today, we will be discussing international agreements on planetary stewardship. But before we begin, I want you to look at the images on the screen. Now, these places and species are found across different parts of the world. So now, let me ask you a question. What do you notice about these places and species? Why do you think many nations are concerned about them? So now, these questions will actually guide our discussion for today. Now, to understand today's lesson, we need to ask an important question. Why do countries need to cooperate in solving environmental problems? Now, environmental problems or issues do not stop at national borders. Pollution, climate change, and species loss affect many countries at once. No single country can solve these problems alone, and that is why international cooperation is necessary. It ensures shared responsibility in protecting our planet. Now, imagine if one country dumps toxic waste into the ocean, who else will be affected? Exactly. Our neighboring countries, marine life, and we also have our future generations. This situation explains why international agreements exist and why this is really important. Now, we have first the Mediterranean Convention. So the first arrangement is the Mediterranean Convention, which originated from the Mediterranean Action Plan in 1976 and was updated in 1995. So its main goal is to protect the Mediterranean Sea from pollution such as waste, dumping, oil spills, and industrial discharge. It involves 22 countries, along with scientists, NGOs, and policymakers. This agreement is important because it protects marine biodiversity and ensures that countries sharing one sea work together to preserve it. For our next is we have the BRS conventions or the Basel, Rotterdam, and Stockholm. So next is this one, which are actually three agreements working together. So the Basel Convention controls the disposal of hazardous waste, and then the Rotterdam Convention regulates hazardous chemicals and pesticides. Now the last one is the Stockholm Convention. It focuses on eliminating persistent organic pollutants or POPs. Now, their common goal is to protect human health and the environment from dangerous chemicals, making them vital for both environmental and public safety. So next is we also have if we have a sea to protect, so we also have our species. So the Convention on Migratory Species, also known rather as CMS, is under the United Nations Environment Program. Now, this agreement protects migratory animals and their habitats. It is especially important because migration routes cross national borders. Examples of species protected under CMS includes migratory birds and marine turtles. Without international cooperation, these species would be very difficult to protect. So, and if we cannot protect them, and then they'll be extinct. So we don't have these species to admire anymore, and we wouldn't like that. Anyways, proceed to the next. It's the World Heritage Convention. It's established by UNESCO in 1972, and it protects cultural and natural sites of outstanding global value. Now, it was strengthened through updates in 2002 and 2007. It emphasizes conservation, credibility, communication, and community participation. Okay? So, examples of this are the Tubataha Reefs in the Philippines, our very own, the Great Wall of China, and the Serengeti in Africa. Now, after learning these different international agreements, of course, you students will also have to take a part. So, now when we compare these agreements, we can see that although they differ in focus, such as oceans, chemicals, species, or heritage sites, they all share one goal, and that is protecting the planet through cooperation. So each agreement has unique features, but all emphasize shared responsibility among nations. So now we will group you, I will group you into two, and then you need to actually answer the comparative chart activities. So we have the agreement. So what's the agreement? We have four agreements, and then you're gonna put their goal and focus, their unique feature, and the importance. So from what we've discussed earlier, then I think you can all answer this part. Okay? So now, after you answer the comparative chart, you need to, of course, present it in front. Okay, thank you so much. And now, to generalize everything and to summarize our discussion, we can say that environmental protection is a shared responsibility of all nations. Through cooperation, sustainability for future generations becomes possible, and each one of us should take and should do our part. Now, to apply what you have learned, your assignment will be to research one World Heritage Site or migratory species found in the Philippines. You should write a one-page reflection explaining how international agreements help protect it. So this will actually help you see how global cooperation affects our own country. So you do agree that international agreements are important, right? So now you will just reflect why it's important and explain it through a one page of a paper reflection. So that would be all for our discussion for today. And then thank you for listening. And I really do hope that this discussion helped you understand why international cooperation is essential in caring for our shared planet. So that would be all. And thank you.